Hello everyone, welcome back to Positive Gaming. Today I'm going to talk about God of War Laufey, the next mainline entry in the God of War series, which was announced during the most recent PlayStation State of Play. I think the game looks amazing. I think it's really cool that they're doing something kind of new with it. Uh, you know, the only other time that we've been able to play as a different character was the Atreus sections in God of War Ragnarok. Otherwise, we've been playing as Kratos, which is totally fine. Kratos is easily in my top 5 favorite fictional characters of all time, and he's so fun to play as. But, with long running franchises like this, I like little shakeups. And I just think that there's a lot that's really interesting about God of War Laufey. For one, it's interesting that it's not a prequel. It actually takes place after Faye has died, and we see her in the afterlife of the gods, which makes me think that we're gonna get some kind of twist that she is part god or something. We know that she's a Jotnar giant. And we know that she's a really badass warrior because Kratos met her in combat. And it's also interesting that this is the first God of War game that is mixing mythologies. I know that the original concept for God of War 3 was that it was going to mix Greek mythology and Egyptian mythology and Norse mythology. So it's kind of cool that they're sort of bringing that concept back in a different way with a different character. And I think this whole premise of the afterlife of the gods is really interesting because, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking this. Faye might actually fight some of the Greek gods that Kratos killed. That might be where they ended up after they died. We never really got an answer about that. So we could potentially get fights with like Zeus or Hades or Poseidon or Hercules. I think that would be pretty cool. Oh wait, Ares is actually probably the most likely because the two main villains that we've seen so far, Sekhmet and then the demon guy whose name I don't remember. So Sekhmet is the Egyptian goddess of war, and then the other guy is the Tibetan god of war. So, of course, it would make sense to have Ares show up, the Greek god of war. And that would be really cool to see Faye fight him. And yeah, I mean, another thing that's interesting about this game is that they've said that the combat is inspired by the Greek Saga games, which is pretty cool. I personally prefer the Norse Saga combat, but if they can kind of like make kind of like a middle ground where it's like kind of like the old system and kind of like the new system, I think that could be really, really fun. And from what we've seen of the combat, it looks great so far. The story and the whole premise of it is super intriguing. And yeah, I can't wait to see more of this game. I can't wait to come up with more theories. That's something I like to do whenever there's a new God of War on the horizon. It's a very fun franchise to theorize about and think about super deeply. I'll probably be making more God of War videos. I've mainly been making videos about Hideo Kojima games lately because that's like my main passion. But God of War is definitely another passion of mine. And there's some other game franchises that I'm really passionate about and that I want to make more videos on, and yeah, it's really exciting. Also, as a quick note, the new Wolverine game looks really sick as well. Can't wait to play that. It was also shown at the PlayStation State of Play. I'm also kind of interested in Until Dawn 2 because I really liked the first Until Dawn, and I hope that this one is as fun as that. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about God of War Lao Fei for now. I'm sure that I'll have more to say, especially when they release more footage about it, and if I can come up with some theories, that then I'll share them. And so yeah, thank you for watching. This has been Positive Gaming signing out.